Welcome. Welcome to a new episode of my podcast on energy. My name is Irina Lee, and this week I wanted to continue on the topic I've been spending the last few weeks on talking about, namely breath. Today's topic will address, I don't really know what to call it, but I decided to call it overwhelm. Breath and overwhelm, how we can reclaim calm. So just to give you some context, I am certain that I'm not the only one feeling overwhelmed these days. It is as if we are bombarded with bad news, and there seems to be no end to it. I guess that we all can experience overwhelm differently, but this is what it looks like for me. It feels like there is a constant stream of impulses and information that feels important and relevant for me to look into. It feels like there is never enough time, and it feels that I'm constantly trying to make up for the time that I'm losing. I don't really know if it's an illusion or if it's a fact, but anyways, I have found a few techniques that really work for me in order to reclaim my calm. Let me give you an example. The other day, I felt like as if nothing on my to-do list was done. I felt like there was not enough time to do what I needed to do. And I felt like all of my inboxes were bombarded with messages that I needed to reply to. It felt like running around like a headless chicken. No clear direction, no really priority, not knowing what to do. So, of course, because of my thorough experience with breath work, luckily, I noticed what I was doing. And of course, I was able to reconnect to my breath and then continue with my day. So I just wanted to share. I hope this is helpful for you. If it is, let me know in the comments or send me a message. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and maybe you have some techniques that work for you that I would love to learn about. So let's keep the conversation going. So first and foremost, I wanted to say a few words of how breathing and the feeling of overwhelm can be connected. When I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I will automatically start breathing faster. So it will be a low state or a high state of what we can call hyperventilation, which is when you breathe faster than is beneficial for you. So in this state, we will automatically, our nervous system will put us into a stress response. And when our nervous system is stressed, it sends a signal out to the body that you are in danger. And guess what? There is not much room to make rational decisions when you believe, when your body believes or your brain perceives that you are under immediate threat or danger. But this is the beauty of it. By taking a few conscious breaths, we can be able to readjust, calm our nervous system, and change our nervous system response from going to fight or flight to put ourselves into a parasympathetic state, which also often is referred to as rest and digest. And in this calmer state, where is first and foremost symbolized with our slowed breath, prolonged out breath, that is when we can take wiser, more rational decisions. So just by listening to me sharing about my experience, is there anything of this you can relate to? Have you been feeling overwhelmed or stressed out lately? Please know that it's totally normal. I would almost say expected in the day and age we live in right now. So if it's not bad news, maybe you yourself, maybe you're struggling with a health condition, maybe some of your loved ones are struggling right now. Maybe you have something happening in your life that is out of your control. If so, I can certainly relate to what you're going through, and I will assure you that just a few simple breath exercises can shift the way you perceive reality right now. So please, if you feel the pull to this work, just give me a few minutes of your time and do this breaths with me. A few weeks ago, I gave you an introduction to box breathing, where we inhaled for 4, held our breath for 4, exhaled for 4, and held our breaths to the count of 4. Today, I wanted to give you another variant, because I know that there is not one single breath exercise that works for all. So maybe this one might interest you, or maybe you find this easier to implement in your day. This breath has many variations and many names. The first version I was taught was a 4-7-8 model, meaning we breathe into the count of 4, we hold to the count of 7, and then we exhale to the count of 8. However, after having taught breathwork to a lot of people, my experience is that the out breath might be too long for someone. So I have made my own variety where I inhale for 3, hold for 5, and exhale to the count of 6. Let's try that for, let's say, 3 rounds. Inhale on 3, hold for 5, and exhale on 6. I will count you through it, so you can just play along and do it while you're listening to this. And before we start, just remember, don't ever practice breath work while working a machine, while driving, or while doing anything that requires your full attention, because these techniques can be very powerful. They may put you in a sleepy state or such a relaxed state, so it's not to be combined, especially not while driving a car. So if you're driving, just put this podcast on pause and try this when you get home, where you are under safe circumstances. But anyways, if you're ready, please feel free to join me as we start after our next out breath, inhaling to the count of 3. So inhale 2, 3, hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale 2, 3, hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, inhale 2, 3, hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please continue a few more rounds while you hear me explaining why this breath is so efficient. And when you practice this breath going forward, remember to breathe only in and out through your nose. That makes the breath much more efficient for your body. So why does this work? Well, we can say that the breath hold is the secret sauce to this technique. Because when you hold your breath after inhaling, even as little as 5 seconds, you give your body a little extra time to absorb the oxygen that you have just inhaled. And also, the prolonged exhale, in this example, to the count of 6, also gives you an extended opportunity to take more advantage of the oxygen you inhaled. So this is practically the opposite of what you're doing when you're hyperventilating. This is slowing your breath down and providing, let's call it a mini pause for your nervous system, helping it shift into calm mode, rest and repair, rest and digest. Someone even calls it the feed and breathe mode, because in order to create life, we have to be in a rested state. So many can testify to this, that in a life where you're stressed out and your stress levels are so high, it's even hard to conceive life. I know that so many of us have experienced how life-threatening high levels of stress can be. So no matter where you are, no matter under what circumstances you're dealing with right now, I really, really hope, and I firmly believe, that doing breathwork can help you no matter where you are right now. So I would encourage you to practice these breathwork techniques that I've shared with you throughout the last few weeks. In this episode, last week's episode, and the episode that came a couple of weeks ago. And just continue. I encourage you to just continue experimenting with these techniques. You can't do anything wrong by just calming down. Gently close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, and breathe as slow as it feels comfortable for you, in and out through your nose. And please, I would love to hear how these techniques are working for you. So let me know, either in the comments or send me a DM. And finally, I just also want to invite you. Maybe there are some of the stuff that I'm sharing with you in this podcast that doesn't really resonate. That's fine. Just skip this episode and go to the next. But if there is something that you're thinking, this might be valuable to me, try it, feel it, how it works for you, and repeat it. Because that is how true mastery comes to be, while just repeating one simple hack one day at a time. That can work wonders. And that's also going to be my final takeaway from this episode, which I have experienced and been reminded of myself these last few days. In a state of overwhelm, I don't need to figure everything out. I don't need to know everything about what's going to happen. I just needed to make one decision and start doing one thing. And then I can get on with it. I don't know if it's the right decision, but at least take action. That is what, at least for me, that is what takes me out of that feeling and state of overwhelm and gives me the belief that I am able to work myself through this, as I have done for so many other overwhelming situations in my life. So keep breathing and just decide on taking one simple action today, and that's it. I hope this helps, and as always, take care, and we'll talk soon again.